Press Play with Coach K, Episode 1, Collapsing Across the Finish Line. Let's go. You're listening to Press Play with Coach K. I'm your host, Kimberly Monroe. My mission is to inspire professional women to take the leap towards health, wealth, and happiness. I'll share practical tips and inspiring stories to help you be the boss of your business, your body, and your bank account. For more tips and to sign up for our newsletter, visit us at pressplaywithcoachk.com. Are you ready to press play? Okay, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Press Play with Coach K. I am your host, Kimberly Monroe, health coach, wellness enthusiast, crazy runner person, cat mom, reformed burger lover, maybe? I think all of those things sum me up pretty accurately. I just wanted to thank my listeners for tuning in today and just wanted to kind of give you a little intro and about what my show is going to be all about. I am here to help professional women figure out how to incorporate health and wellness into their everyday life. You've heard the term that health is wealth, and I know so many people who just have goals but struggle so much to just really press play and get started on incorporating physical activity or other healthy changes into their lifestyle. As busy professional women, we are bombarded with so many different things every day, be it your career, your family responsibilities, whether it's community activities, and sometimes making ourselves a priority is so challenging. So I'm just here to share both my experience, my personal triumphs and struggles, my knowledge, my expertise with you, but I also hope to bring you some great guests to share their stories with you so that you can be inspired to make the necessary changes that you want to in your own life to achieve optimal wellness. So I wanted to start just by telling a little bit of my story and how I got here to this place. Man, I got to go all the way back to like maybe 2006. So I graduated from the University of Florida in 2000 with a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in health science, and was well into my career as a community health educator. And it was my role to plan and implement community-based health and wellness activities for a pretty large service area around the city where I was living at the time. And I myself went out into the community and I would teach classes on health and wellness on a variety of topics like nutrition and physical activity and both the prevention and self-management of chronic disease. And the odd thing about it was I would always get to this place in any one of my workshops because I am a person who's pretty small in stature. I'm only about 5'1", and I have been a pretty small person most of my life. And so it never failed that I would have someone in one of my classes say, well, man, you're a little thing. What do you do to stay in shape? And the saddest part about it was for all of the knowledge that I had and for all of the teaching and coaching that I did at the time, I was doing nothing. None of it. To look at me, one would think that I could run a mile in my sleep, but the reality of it is that I would get winded sometimes walking up a flight of stairs. If I had to run for my life, God forbid, I probably would have passed out on the spot. So funny enough, as it happens, I befriended a family at my church who were all avid runners. I mean, the mom in this family was almost old enough to be my mother. And this was a family of highly physically active people. They ran races together as a family. And somehow I allowed them to convince me to do a 2-mile fun run one day. Now, mind you, I was not a runner. I had never played team sports. And probably the most physical activity that I had done on a regular basis up until then may have been kind of like a yoga class here and there, nothing that anybody could even remotely regard as regular physical activity. So, I'm all excited thinking 2 miles, no big deal. Get out there, put my little shorts on, have my little tennis shoes on, and, I'm ready to go. We get to the start line. I think I may have run 50 feet before I collapsed on the side of the road. I mean, literally on the ground, gasping for air. Probably one of the most hilarious and simultaneously embarrassing moments of my life. And I thought to myself, you're in your early 20s. There is just no excuse for you to, lack in any way as far as physical activity and health and wellness is concerned, especially considering what I was doing for a living at the time. As it happens, I remember being at one of the local area schools that we frequently did health programming at, and we had actually been doing a program on osteoporosis and doing some bone density screenings. And I got into a conversation with one of the school nurses about running, and she and her daughter had gotten into running by raising money for, I got to shout out the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And I was like, that's a really interesting concept. As it happened, I had an uncle who had died of leukemia back in 2002. And I said, you know what? At this point, I was 29 years old, in the worst shape of my life, and really ready to make a change. So what I decided to do was to put other people's money where my mouth was, and I decided that I was going to run a marathon. That is right. Me, never having been athletic, never having played sports, decided that of all race distances, I was going to make my running debut by running a 26.2 mile race. So I signed up with Teen Training. I created a fundraising website, and I set a goal to run a marathon before my 30th birthday. And in January of 2007, 3 weeks before I turned 30, I went over the course of about 3.5-4 months from being a completely sedentary individual to running a full marathon. It was both the hardest thing mentally and emotionally that I had ever done. And I have this vivid recollection of getting to the finish line, probably 6.5 hours later, I think it was, like way off my goal time, and literally collapsing in my dad's arms, and everything on my body hurt. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. But what I learned through that process is that, all it really takes is making a decision and taking the first step. I just remember telling my friends and my family that I was planning on doing this race, and I was like, okay, bring on the jokes. And they came. And I remember the days of getting up early to meet my training group and, going on these runs where, I could barely run a mile. And I just remember the overwhelming feeling of accomplishment and just pride the day I finished my first race, and just thinking to myself, I can't believe how far I've come. Since that time, that the marathon was actually the only full marathon, the entire 26.2 miles that I've done. But to date, I've now run close to 20 half marathons, and I've lost track of the number of 5Ks and 10K races that I've done over the years. In addition to that, I competed in my first bodybuilding figure competition a couple years after that race. And I've just seen my level of physical activity and my dedication to healthy eating and wellness just, increase exponentially, and all the progress that I've made over the years. And one of the most challenging things was, trying to figure out with my career and all of the responsibilities that I had. When I first got started, I was, serving on community boards and, volunteering. And I just had this crazy busy schedule, just finding the time to make my health a priority was a really, really huge challenge. And, I get so many messages on social media from women just like me who want to make a change, know where to start. Some of them have no clue where to start, but it seems that the most difficult thing is just taking that very first step, to figure out what do I need to do to get started. And then how can I, make decisions every day and, put my mind in a place where I can make health and wellness not just something that I'm doing to get ready for vacation or to be in a wedding, but what can I do to make this a lasting thing in my life, make it a lifestyle. And that's what I'm here to help you do. So I'm super excited about some of the guests that I have planned. I'm excited about being able to just share and answer your questions along the way. I'm glad that you listened to me today, and I hope that you tune in for our next episode. I can't wait to get started on this journey with you guys, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. So we'll chat next time. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.